Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Realtor Mindset. I want to wish a happy belated Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I hope you all had a happy and safe Mother's Day. What we're discussing right now in Realtor Mindset are the top 5 mistakes that buyers are making in today's market. And when I state that, I must specify that we are in the Northeast, in New York, in the Hudson Valley. And in this area of the globe, it is a seller's market with a capital S next to it. It's a very unforgiving market. And in the words of Barbara Corcoran, there's about 5 families for every house that's out there, 5 buyers for every listing that's available. So until we get more listings on the market, it'll be a more fair, even playing ground. But until then, it is a seller's market through and through 100%. So that brings me to mistake number 1 that buyers are making. Yes, we understand when you're buying a house, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, it's a used house. Somebody's been living in that house for 5 years, 10 years, 50 years in some cases. So the first mistake that I'm seeing is buyers negotiating down on price. Let me be a little bit more specific about that. A lot of properties out there, whether they're brand new, great condition, squeaky clean, or if they have some issues, or if they have a few problems, a lot of these properties are going over asking price. Let's be real here. So the first mistake that I'm seeing is negotiating down off of the asking price. I could give you 2 examples just recently that just happened to me, but I'll give you one. It was a $500,000 house, great neighborhood, highly ranked school system, sought after property, very new on the market for $500,000, but the kitchen was old. And when I'm saying old, it was probably 20 or 30 years, probably 30 years old, let's just say. Okay, so it needed a renovation. But other than that, the property was in tip-top shape, newly painted, great landscaping, 2-car garage. Everything was really in good working order. And my buyer said, "Well, it's going to be at least 50,000, 60,000 for this kitchen. So let's offer 450." And I do say this to customers, listen, do we want to bid on the property or do we want to get the property? Well, then we do want to bid on the property, but we don't want to overpay. Okay. So we put the bid in for 450,000. Lo and behold, the property went over asking price. Multiple offers over asking price. Yes, there were plenty of other buyers out there that saw the kitchen and said, I think the house is still worth 500,000. Let me bid 510,000. So we lost that property, and this is what I'm seeing a lot. So again, the question is, do we want to bid on properties or do we want to buy a property? 2 different questions. And when you pose it to a buyer like that, makes them sit back and think, okay, let's really consider this, because this property checks off all the check marks, and we really should do whatever it takes to get this property. So underbidding yourself, that's mistake number 1 that I'm seeing. Number 2, not being pre-approved in time. Folks, I'm a real estate agent, but I can also help you get pre-approved. I offer this service to every one of my buyers, but most of them come pre-approved. But the ones that don't, I do ask them, have you spoken to your banker? Have you gone into your local bank yet? Or your affiliation with your union or whatever it is. And sometimes they say no, which is surprising. While I say, hey, I'm sure you qualify, but we do need the letter to present it to the seller. If you like the house, we should submit an offer, and submit an offer quickly, because houses are flying off the market. So that's mistake number 2, not having a pre-approval letter. If you find the house, you love the house, and you put in a full asking price offer, contingent upon the mortgage, the other agent's going to say, okay, let me see the pre-approval letter. And then I have to, take a step back, reach out to my buyer, make sure they get pre-approved either the same day or the next day. And if it takes a day or 2, that property's gone. So please, in this market, you snooze, you lose. So let's keep that in mind. Sorry, I'm looking down. I just had these written down. Number 3, running your credit during the process. Don't do this. Please don't ever do this. Don't ever do this. Don't ever run your credit while you're going through the process after you sign your contracts. Do not run your credit once until you are at the closing table and somebody hands you the keys and says, congratulations. Then after that, you can run your credit as many times as you like. I really don't care. But running your credit during the process poses questions that a bank underwriter is going to ask. Number 1, how much credit did they take out? Number 2, where's the credit card bill? Oh, Vin, the store did not issue a bill yet. Okay, you need to go online, you need to get all the information about your bill and present it to the underwriter to make sure that you still qualify for the loan. And if you don't qualify for the loan, you could risk losing your down payment. So please, so important, don't ruin your credit. Also, try not to change jobs, but that's not fatal. It could be, but really running the credit's it's pretty bad. So let's not do that. Okay, number 4, contingencies. This is a big one. A lot of the times when we submit an offer, okay, it's contingent on getting a mortgage. I get it. It's still challenging as far as getting a mortgage in today's market. I would never recommend somebody waiving their mortgage contingency. This is something we used to see a lot in 2004, 2005, leading up to the big crash, because everybody was getting mortgages, okay? We had what's known as the pulse mortgage. If you had a pulse, you got a mortgage, right? Of course, I'm joking, but not really. A lot of people got mortgages that didn't qualify and should not have qualified, but that's a whole nother episode that we'll get into. So, contingent upon getting a mortgage, okay. But what we're seeing, and I pose this question to buyers, I would never urge it, but I'm going to pose it. Would you consider waiving your inspection? Now, what I'm seeing on some offers is the buyers are going to do an inspection, but they're waiving the contingency of the inspection. After you do the inspection, you see what's wrong with the house, if there's any issues. If they're minor issues, you waived your inspection contingency, and you're good to go. Let's go to sales contract. And if there is a major problem with the inspection, you can back out. So that's another contingency. Appraisal contingency. Are you interested in waiving your appraisal contingency? Folks, if you're putting down 20% or 30%, you should absolutely waive your appraisal contingency. Again, that's a whole nother episode, but if you can close the gap on your appraisal between how much the property appraises for and how much you're paying for it, I would strongly urge you to do that, just to pay that difference, or put the same amount down. And you may have to take out mortgage insurance. Again, another episode, but and sometimes I'll get the question, Vin, are we overpaying for this house? The answer is, come see me in 5 years. 99% of the time, that conversation in 5 years is, wow, Vin, we made some money on this house. We got about $50,000 in equity, or we have $125,000 in equity. Thank you so much. Yes, the properties just keep going up. Why? Supply and demand, okay? Very little supply. The demand is still very high. We're in the suburbs outside the greatest city in the United States, especially for money-making opportunities. People come here from all over the world, so super competitive, very tight inventory. You will make money over time, okay? And the last is kind of the same as number 5, is similar to number 4, is timing the market. Vin, are we timing the market well? Are rates going to come down anytime soon? Well, if they don't, guess what? You could always refinance next year or the year after. You know, let's turn that 7% rate into a 5% rate. Okay, you could always do that while you're still living in the house, building equity and taking advantage of the equity rising from the market values going up. But Vin, are we timing the market? Are the prices going to go down 10% last year? I heard somebody telling me that. Listen, I can't predict the future, and nobody can. But the best you could do is, as far as guessing what the future can be, is past experiences. Okay? So what have I seen in this market in the last 25 years? I've seen an up market, I would say with the exception of 2008, 2009, 2010. Those were down years. Absolutely, they were down years, especially in the jumbo market and properties over $1 million. But after 2010 and 2011, I just saw the market picking back up again. Yes, there were listings in the early 2010s, but as 2010s went on, the listings went down and down and down, and then COVID hit 2020. Now we're in the 2020s, and it's a brand new market. It is a super, super juiced up seller's market all the way, and sellers are just grinning from ear to ear because they are cashing in on monies that they never anticipated. I'm seeing properties going for $100,000, $200,000 over asking price. So are we timing the market? If you can afford the payment and the down payment, and it's within your budget, and it's in the area that you're looking for, the answer is absolutely yes, because the properties are only going to go up in value. So those are the top 5 mistakes that I'm seeing buyers make. Let's please not make those mistakes. Please comment down below. Give me a call, DM me, message me, let me know what questions or concerns you have, or let's just let's talk things through, because that's what I love doing all day, is discussing real estate. So Thank you for watching. I love you all, and let's make it a great day.